Hello and welcome to the very next episode. So in this episode what I'll be doing purely and simply is just sound deadening. So in line with the concept that I was keen to pursue, which was a reasonably priced camper van, what I decided to do regardless, rather than using cheaper Chinese knockoffs in the case of insulation and sound deadening, I've just simply bought a box of the Dead Easy sound deadening from Deadening. Now, the reason why I did go for this and not a cheaper alternative is because this box was like £25. And so the common mistake that some people have made, so I've seen when I've been watching other channels and looking at the feedback that people provide, is that they coat the panels, and it's just not necessary. So what the manufacturers typically state, and quite clearly, but people do miss it anyway, is that you only need to cover 50% of the panel at most. So what I'll probably be doing with that box is cutting each of the sheets in half, which will actually give me effectively double the coverage of what perhaps other people have catered for. Now obviously, costs being what they are, you know, if I was to coat the whole panel throughout the van, excluding the windows, that would be a very expensive job, even before I've run any electrics, before I've run any insulation, put the floor down, done anything. So quite keen to keep the costs down. I did do a similar thing in my previous van build. I'll link the playlist just above, in a Peugeot partner van, albeit it was much smaller, but the concept was the same, just on a smaller scale. I used slightly different sound deadening material. I used something similar from Caravans, their own Kiramat, and it had the same results, but I didn't cover the full panels. Now in that particular build, I applied both the wall insulation after the sound deadening, of course, with the recycled plastic fibre, and then carpeted over the top, and absolutely no issues. It was perfectly warm, it was perfectly quiet, it was all well and good. So that's exactly what I'll be doing. So I've just placed one sheet because I just had it spare. I just had it spare from my last build, so I've already placed one sheet here. It's perhaps larger than I perhaps should have thought. I should have actually cut this in half, and I could have put one piece there and another piece here, and that would have been fine. But just as it was spare and it was lying around, I just wanted to get that on just to see the difference between the panel boom. So you can hear this is quite tinny, a little bit rattly compared to this one, where it's much quieter. And obviously when you stack that up over the various panels that exist throughout the van, because there are many, doors included, obviously it becomes quite noisy. Now obviously there was a bulkhead here, so every little help that I can add to reduce the sound when I'm driving, you know, I'm sat here, my wife's sat there, and ultimately I'm hoping to have some seats mounted here for passengers, then obviously that's going to all help. So I'm going to pause the video and just crack on. I don't really think that there's a need to show you the installation, because you quite literally take it out of the box. I'm going to cut the panels in half and just stick them on. You literally just put it on like a sticker. It's self-adhesive, so you peel off the backing paper and you just stick it on. It's not even that critical that you lay it perfectly flat. I mean, it's hard not to be fair, but anybody could do this, right, at this stage. So I'm going to get that done, and then I'll come back with a little bit of progress. Today's video is going to be rather short. This is just simply the next task that I need to get done, and then it's just a case of waiting for my insulation to arrive so I can get the insulation down on the floor, get the original flooring back in, because as I said in the previous video, I've had to store it in the house right now. My wife's not very happy about that. I didn't plan to do that, it just kind of evolved that, oh crap, I forgot to order the insulation, therefore I had to put the wood somewhere because I couldn't store it in the van whilst I'm working on it. I can't put it on the drive because the weather being what the weather is in the UK, we've had bits of rain, and so I didn't want it to spoil. So it's in our spare room right now, and then once I'm able to, I can bring it back in, refit that, and then I can move on with the build. And that's probably going to then getting into insulating the walls, minus where the windows are going to be, of course, and then the electrics, which I'm really excited about, because that means that I can start to power things. I can start to imagine exactly where and what is going to be located where. So I'll pause right now and I'll come right back once I've got a bit of progress for you. See you in a moment. And that's that. So it probably took me about half an hour, and I've left a few spots. So as you can probably gather, above the sliding door, so 50% piece of there, 50% just there, much quieter. And then to the sides here, same again, a little bit extra around the wheel arch. Just figured, well, it's a noisier spot because obviously the wheels are turning. I've left these channels to the top here because there's going to be a fixed bed above this, and we're contemplating either a window on this side or on this side. It's going to be one of those narrower windows. Because I'm 6'3", we want to try and use as much of the width as is possible. So there's going to be some kind of recess built into this wall, and possibly the same there. But we're just reusing a double mattress which we have from a bed that we no longer need in the house, and then the same on this panel here. You can see the 4 pieces just there. I've left this panel for now because, well, hang on, no, I do need to cover this panel because the seats I am now going to mount here, which has visibility from that window which is already on the way. So I will just put a couple of pieces there before I finish up for the day, because I'm thinking that's most likely going to stay solid piece, because the kitchen's going to go here. But then ideas may change, so I'll leave that for now till that's completely decided. With the kitchen being there, it might be quite nice if there was visibility, but I can come back to that. So barely used even half a box of this dodo mat, so probably just leave it there for now. Obviously the back doors, I figured, warrant a full piece because they're quite noisy and rattly. Obviously I've not taken away the lower half of the trim yet. Obviously this is going to go. It's from bracing the doors when BT used them. That's an addition which isn't on most vans, I think. And the same for this side with a full panel just there. So test will be if it happens to rain over the next day or so, if this skylight is going to leak. I don't really want to get the hose out to give that the test. It's just a bit of a faff on trying to get that out and get that plumbed in, ready to go, running it through the shed and whatnot. So I'll just wait for the rain and tell from there. Obviously I need to do in the lower half of the sliding door as well, but I'm not too concerned because I can just put this dodo mat to the side now and then pick up these pieces when I'm ready. The window I'm expecting to come from eBay. That's coming from a company called Camperglass that a lot of folks have used, and it's going to be a full window with a sliding opening there. Figured that it might be nice to have a bit of a breeze when there's going to be 2 seats here. So that really concludes this video. There's not much more I can say. It's soundproofing. It's very well documented. People understand what it does. The installation process I didn't even need to show you because you just whack it on. So yeah, just a few bits left to do, and then I'll have a bit of a tidy up and then enjoy the rest of my Sunday. So short and sweet today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please do consider liking and subscribing. There's still a number of you casual viewers out there which do return. I can see there's folks coming in, tuning in from all over the world, mostly the UK of course, but also other parts of the world as well. So please do consider subscribing, and I will keep this build going and keep the content coming, just in case you too happen to either be doing a ex-work van from a company in your country or in your region, or if you're just looking for help with Ducatos or boxers or relays, because they are all basically the same. So have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.